If you're a local service-based business, then you know exactly how important referrals are. And what I'm going to talk about today on today's training is really kind of the research behind it, because you guys hear me talk about it all the time, right? Talk about building a referral-based business. As you guys know, I wrote the book about it, Referability Roadmap, and so many times I think, as you guys hear me say that, is people I think sometimes think it's like, well, yeah, it works and we know we need to get referrals, but is it that important? Maybe we should be spending our time, on more marketing or whatever that piece of it may be. And so as always, I'm always kind of doing research and looking at the numbers to see if things change, if I'm missing something out there around the world of referrals. And I wanted to share something with you guys today because I thought it was, again, just these interesting statistics, if I can spit that out today. There's a company, it's called a True List, and they go out and just gather data about all different types of businesses. And I was reading a report that they published this year, and it was talking about referrals. Now, keep in mind, this is referrals. This is businesses across the board, not just necessarily service-based businesses, though there are a lot of service-based businesses inside of this research. But what I wanted to share with you is just the importance. And there's a lot of data. I'm not sharing it all with you guys on this video today, but I just want to share just a couple of things today to put into perspective of just how important that it is staying engaged with your database, with the people that know, like, and trust you. And the first stat I want to share with you is that they talked about is that 89% of the people that do business with the company, right, would refer them and or use them again, but only actually 29% do. So 83%, when they surveyed these people, said, yeah, definitely we would use them again, or we would refer them. But then they looked at this and did the further research and found out that only 29% of that 83% actually were doing it. And so it begs the question, I know it comes up, it's like, why is that? Why is there such a big discrepancy? Because that's a big discrepancy. And so they dug into that, asking those questions, right? Asking, why is that the case? And really the number one thing that came back is that the provider, the business didn't stay in contact with them. They or they didn't ask them for a referral. And so I want to just talk about that today, because you guys hear me beating this into the ground. It feels like me when I'm doing this is like I'm repeating the same thing. And the reason I do that is because I understand and know how important this is. And this isn't me just saying this. This is data. And I'm looking at my other screen, and there was probably 6 or 7 different research papers that I was looking at when I was doing this research, and all of those all had similar numbers to those things. And so the other thing that I wanted to share with you, why it's so important, is that when they get a referral, when you get a referral from someone, that person is 4 times more likely to use that business than if they were not to get a referral. If they found it on, however else, right? Advertising, social media, whatever that 4 times. So when someone refers you, it already, and these are things that we know. I think at times we forget about the actual power in these referrals. And so I just want to share this with you, is to understand is that, like, when you do a good job. Now, obviously these got to be customers that were, and they went on to say these are satisfied customers, right? But of the satisfied customers, but most of us, I think if you're in my world, in my ecosystem, I think you're doing a great job for people, and they are happy with the service that you provide and are providing, depending on what industry you're in, right? But the issue is, so many times, is that we just get caught up in, like, we take it kind of for granted. Okay. I know early on, and I've shared this before, early on in my business, in my real estate business, did a great job for people. And then I'm just like, because they know me, right? They know, like, and trust me, those are the 3 key factors that they're going to, when they have the opportunity, they're going to refer me. Well, that is not necessarily always the case. Now, you'll get some This is why I talk about be a referral generator versus being a referral getter, right? When we're a referral getter, we just get them when they come. This is why so many people push back on me when they're like, well, Bill, I get referrals and all that stuff. I understand and all that, but I really can't count on that. Well, you can't count on it is because you don't have a system in place that is going to consistently being able to deliver that. And I'm not just speaking in theory. I know just for a fact out of nothing else, out of other people that I've coached and taught and that are doing it, but out of my own real world experience of running my real estate business this way that's why we were able to do 94% of our business was referred business. And we were able to close consistently over 100 transactions a year like clockwork, right? I can plan on that, knowing that if we had this many people in our database out of 8 that we marketed to correctly, and when I say marketed to, these were people in our database. So using, right, my 36 Connect framework, if staying connected with them, knowing how and when, to ask for a referral, having a system around it, right? And it's no different in your business. And I don't care today if you're watching this and you're a solopreneur, you're just a standalone real estate agent. I know that's how I started years ago. It was just me. And then learned some concepts and started to apply this and started figuring it out. And then it grew and built from there. It wasn't an overnight success, right? The old saying is it took me 10 years to be an overnight success, and success is all relative. But the point I want to make is that you have to have a system in order to be able to consistently deliver those referrals. And if you don't, then you're just going to get what you're going to get just as the wind blows, right? I always say a broken clock is right twice a day. And if we fix the clock, find out what's wrong with it, then it's right all the time. Okay. And so it's the same thing in our business. And it's no different if we look at, for example, you can look at any big franchise, and we could just take McDonald's, right? And if you go to a McDonald's in Houston, Texas, and you order a quarter pounder, and then you come to my hometown, or my town is Fort Myers, Florida, that experience is probably going to be pretty much similar. It's going to taste the same. It's going to look the same. The experience in that maybe a little bit different, just the people that are taking your order. But overall, that's the franchise model. It isn't like they go, well, I wonder how we're going to make a quarter pounder today. I'm going to make it different in Houston than I make it in Fort Myers, Florida. No. Why? Goes back to what I always talk about, consistency. So the thing about it is that we have to make sure, and especially, as I'm sharing this with you guys, as we're ending, end of November, next week is, Thanksgiving, and then we're rolling into, 2025. And what's going to change in your business? Because obviously, there's compression for business, right? Especially if you're in the service-based industry, if you're real estate, mortgage, insurance, or in financial services, right? We all know that it's heavily competitive. But the thing about it is what you have is that you have this database. If you've been in business for any amount of time, is you have a database. Now, whether you're utilizing it or not, but you have one. If you have current and past clients, you have a sphere, a network of people, you have that. It's just like, what are you doing with that? And that's the whole point behind getting that inside of the CRM. Another crazy statistic that I heard was, and this was around, my wife shared this with me. It was around people in the real estate industry, right? So real estate agents, okay? Is only 39% of them have a CRM and they utilize it. Less than 40%. So only 4 out of 10 have a CRM, so which means 60% are just in the wind, so to speak. Is like they're not doing, they can't be having any consistent follow-up and engagement with their people. So again, as you guys hear me talk about this all of the time, having the CRM, building value, right? Having those conversations with people, doing that consistently over time. And I will tell you that it will deliver. It will deliver business. But you have to do the work. And it isn't just some magic bullet. One day you just wake up and all these referrals are rolling in. And yes, you can go on and deliver great services. And then will you get referred without ever asking? Yes, you can. That's a small percentage. I'm just going to tell you, you're leaving so much on the table by not stepping into that. And I think a lot of times is that we spend our time on the fruit that's way, way high at the top of the tree, right? spending too much time on social media, right? And I'm not throwing shade on social media. I'm just saying is that we have to understand, cold leads to warm leads to, to working in our database. And what I find is a lot of people, when I audit their business, when I do an audit of their database and all this, I just look at where they're spending their time. Less than 10 to 20% is ever spent on their database, where it should be 80% of, at least at that time, spent in the database. And when we start making those changes and going, let's focus over here and let's see what happens there, instead of chasing down these people, trying to convince them to do business with us that don't even know us, that's a longer tail. I'm not saying that it can't work, but let's put the odds in our favor of going after the people that already know, like, and trust us, that would refer us to their friends and family. If we share with them how, that's a big part of our business, how to do that, why to do that, right? All the things that I teach inside of my ecosystem that I share, that I have been sharing in, for seems like forever, is when I do these videos. And I know for a lot of times of it is like, I know you keep hearing it. The reason I keep saying it is that so many people aren't doing it, and by results, right? This isn't just me thinking, oh, people aren't doing this. This is research that is saying people aren't doing this. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. It's just not my opinion, though. It's my belief, because I understand this works, because it's worked for me. It's worked for others that I've taught. It will work long after I'm out of business and doing it, because it's a fundamental. And again, AI and all the shiny and new, all of the things, but still, people ultimately still want to do business with people, and they want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And the way that we develop that is we engage with them, right? We got to be top of mind, helping them solve a problem, making their life easier or better. And if we can do that, but we can only do that if we are staying engaged. Okay. So, this one is like, I think it maybe I hit you guys a little hard today, maybe. And so, but I only do that because I see too many people struggle in their business when they don't have to, because they've been told that it's something else. And sometimes it's hard, right, to look at it going like, is it really the fundamentals? I think it's got to be something over here. There's got to be something quicker, faster, easier. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just persistence. It's consistency. It's showing up. And I wish there was another way around it. And I always say this, and if someone finds it, please let me know, because I've been looking for it for 33 years. And in the meantime, I'm still just showing up and doing the work, being consistent in delivering, hopefully delivering value. This is why I get on here and share this information freely. I run a paid for coaching business, but still I share this with people. So that way, if you can look and take this and get engaged, and if you have questions and you need help, this is what I do. But ultimately, if you'll do it, and two, get a copy, and I don't have a copy in front of me, of my client engagement playbook. You guys hear me talk about that all the time. I have a playbook, tells you, here's what you can do, right? Once each month, each quarter, right? Throughout the whole year, is set that up, from emails to text to video to different things that you can do to set up a system. So if you want a copy of that, just drop the word playbook wherever you're consuming this content, and I'll get it to you. Okay. I want to see people succeed. Being in business, owning a business has changed my life now 33 years. And so it can do the same for you. But you got to do the work. You got to step into it. Okay. Get away from the shiny object syndrome. I'm always tell you, it's fundamentals. If you know anything about sports, right? And especially basketball, we're starting in the basketball season, and basically most games are won and lost where? At the free throw line. Think about any games that are close coming down to the end. It's the team that can make the most free throws usually wins. Fundamentals. They're standing there right here, and they're shooting a free throw. No one's guarding them. No one's going to block the shot, and to be able to make that in less than, most people, that I think the average in college is like 70, maybe not even 70%, meaning they can't make more than 7 out of 10 free throws with no one guarding them or doing that, right? But it's those fundamentals in our world. Fundamentals, staying in contact. It's notes, it's phone calls, it's text, right? It's bringing value on a consistent basis to those people. And if we do that time over time, that will produce a result. So I'll get off my soapbox today. I hope that's helpful. As always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. And if you want a copy of that client engagement playbook, just drop the word playbook in the comments and I'm